Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a news media in Singapore publishing that HDB flats are getting more affordable. And I was surprised by this headline. So I went to take a look, and lo and behold, really, it's talking about data that's showing that HDB is getting more affordable. Well, let's see what it says, and I'll give you the final conclusion after I watch this post. So Vulcan Post actually came out with an article that talks about affordability of HDB flat, and I think it triggered a lot of thoughts in me, a lot of questions actually. And let's take a look at what he says. So interestingly, this is the headlines. It says that HDB trends reverse. New data shows apartments in Singapore are getting more affordable, and it was just being published. Surprisingly, actually, they got a very nice skyline of of exactly where I'm staying in Jurong East. So, and I said, no, my flats are not getting more affordable. Okay. And I think it's worthwhile taking a look. So the claim that I'm challenging right now is that they are saying that HDB price growth is slowing down. Okay, that is a fact. Okay, that is a fact. There are reports, and I'll show you what it says. And median income in Singapore are rising, and that is also a fact. So therefore, two facts, when you combine two facts means the conclusion is that it's more affordable. So is that a fact, right? Or is a mathematical illusion? Well, it sounds logical, but I think mathematically misleading. So I just want to share everybody my thoughts. So it's undisputable that HDB price growth is slowing down. This is the headline from Straits Times. Okay, the price of resale flats, they are growing slower this year. It's 2.9% compared to somewhere around 9% previous year. It's the slowest growth, so that's great. And real income is now growing at 4.3%, so it's going faster than the HDB. So therefore, the conclusion is that don't worry, it's getting more affordable. Seriously? Okay. But let's first understand why did HDB flat prices HDB resale flat price growth has actually gone down, and that is true. So it is risen by a smaller number. I emphasize it has risen by a smaller number. That means the HDB prices are still going up, but it's going up slower. So it's 2.9% in 2025 compared to about, I think, 9% or so in 2024. Okay, could have got the previous year number wrong by some very big number previously, and it's coming down. That is a consequence and a result of the work of the previous minister and his people in MND, which is Desmond Lee, and currently Minister Chee Hong Tat and his people. They have increasing the supply of BTOs in significant number, sales of balanced flat increasing in big numbers, and therefore supply increases, prices comes down. That's just a act of demand and supply. That's great. Real median income rose by 4.3%. That's a real number as well. And that's a good news for most of us. So the facts are correct. But the interpretation, I don't think is correct. So first of all, we know that the HDB property prices are still going up, and the property prices are very expensive, especially on the resale side. It's not uncommon to see $1 million HDB flats right now, but let's not use the extreme, shall we? Let's say a resale flat, 700,000 to 100,000. By the way, $700,000 HDB resale flat are not common nowadays, okay? I would say maybe 800,000 to $1 million, you can get a decent, not a perfect one. When you rise by 2.9%, let's round up between 2 to 3%. We are talking about in a range of 14,000 to $30,000 increase in absolute number a year. Okay, so a small number, okay, a small number of a big number is still a big number. Okay, but our increase in salary is 4.5% or so, okay, of a small number, a big percent of a small number, and by the way, 4.5% is not big, it's just moderate. Okay, a moderate percent increase of a small number, which is $4,000 to $5,000, gives you only about 160,000 to $250,000 increase a month. So you look at this number in absolute versus this number, you just take note, right? A $30,000 require how many years of payment by a $200 increment, right? So what we're saying is that, you cannot look at percentages. You have to look at absolutes, right? In short, a small increase in property prices can have very big impact on affordability, where a big increase in medium income, okay, would have at best a moderate impact on house purchasing power. So you can't use percentages and extrapolate this affordable. So scale does matter. The base of property prices is very expensive, and I'm not even talking about those crazy 1/million. Recently in Clementi, they closed a HDB flat at $1.5 million resale flat. That's where Kate is going to get her BTO. I was just pretty excited and told her, please go and get the highest floor possible and get the value extraction from it will be the highest. And on the other hand, the salary base increase, the medium number, I got some skepticism on that number because it's just the medium. But we do see right now the threat of AI disruption to the real world coming. So this medium income increase, while I recognize is real, I don't know how sustainable it will be. So therefore, let's get these economic terms correct. Prices are not falling. This is what I call HDB price disinflation. That means the inflation is slowing down, not deflation. Deflation means prices are coming down. So let's get this. A lot of people cannot get this correct, and as a result, they miss out quite a lot in understanding economic impact and make the wrong decision. So HDB prices are not coming down. The prices are remaining and will remain at elevated level. It is just rising more slowly. The velocity of the increase has come down, but the direction of the increase is still the same. So, in short, the burden is growing slowly, the pain is increasing lesser, but it is still there. So, as I said, Clementi, $1.5 million. I think it's called Clementi Crest. I just can't believe Clementi have these kind of numbers. Just one train station away, my one, Jurong East doesn't seem to be worth so much. I understand. It's fine. But still, $1 million. It's like, insane prices for resale, And in 2025 alone, there are 1,500 $1 million HDB resale prices. How on earth can that be affordable? So I would like to draw a very important conclusion that I don't think the Singapore government will allow the HDB prices to crash. Okay. It may slow down, it may even drop a little bit, but it will not be allowed to crash. And that's largely because our Singaporeans' net worth, a lot of it is in property. And if we have a crash in property prices, and that will have disastrous outcome, there'll be some banking instability as well. And maybe it might even hurt some people's retirement. You just take a look at what happened to Japan and what happened to China. Japan had a 30-year recession because the property price crashed. Okay, and that was to some extent a bubble that's pricked by the central bank a bit too drastically. China did the same thing as Japan. Right now, they're in their sixth year of a property crash, and their economy is a terrible outcome. So, a sharp crash on the property prices will be economically disastrous and catastrophic for a nation, especially Singapore. So, I think the government strategy is not to burst a property bubble, if there is one. The government strategy is to maybe increase the supply as fast as they could to meet genuine demand and not to allow price to collapse. So therefore, they are now flooding the market with HDB BTO as fast as they could and stabilize the price and protect the price from further escalating. They put out a lot of speculative controls and things like cooling measure, ABSD, and so on. And of course, they also are very concerned not to allow HDB prices to go into a crash so that it will hurt property owners in a downward spiral of property prices. So let me reiterate again that affordability getting better. I think it's a misinterpretation of statistics. Okay, and I think we have to come to terms that I don't think this is going to happen in many years to come. So, however, I just need to say this: there is a small segment of Singapore HDB that is still affordable, and they're highly subsidized and still viable. Is largely the non-prime HDB BTO. Okay, those in Tengah area, I think they are very affordable. If you want prime and plus area, you got to pay the price, and you got to wait a long time for your lucky strike of a lottery. But if you are willing to take Tengah, I think it's very easy to get a flat and a very affordable price. But if you want a resale HDB, wow, it's very unaffordable for most first timer, and you can get yourself financially hurt. So I think for Singaporean new family couples, I think it's quite affordable. But if it's for someone who wants to buy from the open market, wow, this is something very unaffordable. So, well, I would just say this: harm was already done during COVID. Okay, let's not put a finger to who is to blame whatsoever. But COVID clearly has some major supply disruption and caused prices go up. As I said, prices of HDB are sticky downwards, right? They can go up, but very difficult to come down. So the asset just got inflated as the World Central Bank just print money like nobody's business. Look at every asset right now; it's just a property bubbles, right? So HDB prices are just one of them. So this is the new property norm. You have nothing more but expensive HDB, especially on the resale market, and you just got to get used to it. So my best advice to young Singaporeans is go for BTO. They are very affordable, okay, especially on the non-prime area. If you are willing to test your luck, for young Singaporeans, go for BTO. There's a huge, subsidy given by the government. This is your first port of call. You should go and get it. Don't waste this chance, okay? And as you offload some of the pressures from the resale market, okay, and leave the resale market to the rich uncle and aunties who have sold their condo or landed property, I think they can well afford it. As for you guys, go get your pot of gold from your BTO. I think this is the affordability option that you are given as a blessing from Singapore and from the government. All right. Okay. With this, thank you. Watch on the next part as I bring you a quick, interesting offer. Okay. And let's see what's exciting thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited Hong Meiren oranges is here. We waited about 1 year plus, 1 year, 1 month plus. Wow. So right now I'm going to open it up and show you guys. Wow. Okay, you will see this Hong Meiren. Okay, this is different from those that in the supermarket one. You will be able to tell the difference once you tasted it. So look at this. Wow. Okay, that's really nice. This time around it's bigger because it has got time to grow on the tree a bit longer than the previous one. So you'll see somewhat a bit bigger, okay, and different. Let's go, okay? Let's try. Alright, okay, and let's go. Wow, see? No seed. Okay, no seed, juicy and soft. Okay, I'm gonna cut it right now. Wow, okay. Very sweet, but not overpowering sweet. As good as what I expected, okay? But more importantly, you won't find anything like that in the market or the one in the supermarket, not anywhere close. Really very good, really good, indeed the best. I'm going to show you a a squeeze test right now to see how juicy it is. Wow. Okay, we're gonna try, okay? We're gonna try. Just watch how juicy it is. Wow. Really one of the most juicy oranges you can ever find. Okay? Go and get it from us right now.